What can get you in jail for years? Robbery, murder, fake documents, violence, and a bad review about tomato paste. This video was created by Sumsub, the verification platform. We make the digital world people-friendly, yet secure. In September 2023, Chioma Okoli, a Nigerian woman, wrote a bad review about Arisco Foods' tomato paste on Facebook. She complained that it had too much sugar. The post went viral, and she was arrested for libel under Nigeria's cybercrime laws. The court ruled that there was no reason for her to think the paste had too much sugar. She could face up to 7 years in jail and a fine of 7 million naira. The company also sued her for 5 billion naira for damage to their reputation.
She is now facing charges under Section 24(1) of the Cybercrimes Act of 2015.
This is a strange story, but it's not unique. An Englishman, whose name we only know as Alexander, is also facing jail time. 2 years in a Thai prison, to be exact. He wrote bad reviews about a restaurant 2 years before his arrest. He lived on Phuket Island and used to cut through the restaurant to get to his rented apartment. The owner was annoyed and told Alexander he couldn't use the restaurant as a shortcut anymore. In response, Alexander wrote negative reviews about the cafe on every website he could find, lowering its rating from almost 5 stars on Google to just 3 stars. The owner eventually filed a police report. 2 years later, Alexander was arrested for entering false information into a computer system. He could face up to 2 years in a Thai prison. Alexander claims he is innocent. But, as we know, South Park predicted all of this long ago. Maybe you were waiting for this. Maybe you were afraid of it. Maybe you never thought you'd live in a world described in an episode of Black Mirror. But let's be honest. This isn't the dystopia we imagined. The wonderful new world of ratings, scores, and reviews is already here. And the most important thing is that this shift happened so quickly, so smoothly on the surface, that nobody even had time to reflect on the massive changes it brought. After all, rating each other is no longer just part of everyday routine and etiquette. It's literally how we live now. They used to say, "Vae victis," woe to the conquered. Now it's low rating, low life. After watching a video, rate it in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. We need your feedback. It all started with rubber and food, or rather, travel. The Michelin Guide, which we now know as the most important restaurant rating in the world, where every chef on the planet dreams of being featured, started out as a simple travel guide for early car drivers. In the 1920s, along with gas stations and tire shops, it began to mention restaurants. 1 star meant you could stop by on your trip, 2 stars meant you could make a detour for lunch, and 3 stars meant the restaurant itself could be worth a trip. Now, 3 Michelin stars are basically the top award in the restaurant world. However, for the entire century that this rating system has existed, there has been constant debate about the criteria and the opaque process used to evaluate restaurants. Before the internet, you basically had to trust the opinion of an unknown group of professionals who were evaluating goods and services.
If you're searching for the perfect place to dine, let the stars lead the way.
And, like the Michelin Guide, everything was opaque. Scandals involving paid reviews broke out with enviable regularity. The era of digital ratings began with a broken laser pointer. It was the first item sold on eBay. The first buyer wanted to buy it for less than $15. The eBay founder even emphasized to the buyer that it didn't work. The product rating system appeared on the site almost immediately. Any buyer could leave a review and use the star system to make a rating for the product. Stars became synonymous with evaluation, inheriting both the Michelin Guide and hotel chains. That same year, the system for mutual ratings for buyers and sellers was adopted by Amazon. But we'll talk about them later. Digitalization goes beyond e-commerce. Fake identities and fraud are on the rise. Now more than ever, we need to protect against them. That's where Sumsub comes in. See how easy it is for a company to verify if a person who leaves a review is actually real. First, the user shows their ID. The system pre-screens it to ensure it's acceptable and valid. Then, they scan their face to confirm that they are physically present. Our technology spots deepfakes, pre-recorded videos, and other spoofing attempts instantly. Users can only access the marketplace and leave comments after the platform confirms that everything is legit. But that's not all. We also perform fraud prevention checks, including behavioral analysis and device fingerprinting, to track suspicious activity and multi-accounting. This helps stop review manipulation and creating multiple accounts to get a bonus. By securing the whole user journey, we create a safer online environment, so you don't need to worry about fake comments from deepfakes or bots. And that's just the beginning of a safe rating system. Initially, the idea of leaving a review after a purchase or a visit to an establishment seemed unclear. Why would a consumer invest their time and effort for free? Corporations encouraged reviews by giving vouchers for discounts on future use of their services, small bonuses, and gamifying the process. Homo Ludens, a book by Dutch philosopher Johan Huizinga, explained that any area of human life can be reduced to a game. Platforms began to reward particularly active users with new ranks. Plus, there was another important psychological effect. People felt and gained power. Even if it was small, their words mattered. Yelp was founded in 2004 by Jeremy Stoppelman and Russell Simmons, two former PayPal employees. Customers choosing a hairdresser or dentist wanted to read reviews from real people. To encourage users of the new network to write reviews, Yelp created an elite squad program for active users, granting them access to exclusive events and other privileges.
They held these events, and they were only for elites.
I was like, wait a second, I can get into these sort of crazy happy hours once a month and really experience things up.
The service grew rapidly. Thousands of reviews were generated daily, and small local entrepreneurs, owners of cafes, hair salons, rental companies, were surprised to find that their survival could literally depend on their rating on Yelp. For some, a 5-star rating opened the door to prosperity, while others became targets of user harassment. Trump Winery in Virginia became the target of a discrediting campaign in 2016, after Donald Trump was elected President of the United States. The winery received many negative reviews on Yelp from people who apparently never visited the place. And the negative comments were not about the product itself, but about the owner's political views. The Sweet Cakes by Melissa Bakery in Oregon became the target of a massive negative review attack after refusing to serve a same-sex couple in 2013. The bakery received a huge number of negative reviews on Yelp. It was a national scandal that cost the owners both their business and their peace of mind. This small family business, which only had a few good reviews before 2016, was completely destroyed by users after it was discovered that its owners were related to people involved in the attacks in New Jersey and Manhattan. Of course, none of the people who left 1-star reviews like "the local chicken is simply bomb" actually ate at the place. It was an act of civil revenge using ratings. Sometimes business owners responded, but it usually backfired. For example, the Union Hotel threatened to fine newlyweds or their guests $500 if they left a bad review. Online trolls took up the challenge, and you can see how the hotel is rated. By the mid-2010s, Yelp became a very influential platform, and the corporation actively encouraged business owners to advertise on the platform. As it turned out, Yelp often used shady methods, and many small businesses accused the company of blackmail. In 2016, a documentary called $1 Billion Bully was released, where business owners talked about how they were offered a simple choice. Enter into an advertising partnership with us, or our independent review filtering system will bury your business under a mountain of 1-star reviews.
It's mafia. To me, it's racket. Here, to you guys, is Yelp.
Ultimately, Yelp's best days are behind it. Google gradually pushed it out in this battle. But perhaps the main corporation that made the mechanism of user reviews its main algorithm is Bezos' creation. Amazon, which appeared around the same time as eBay, launched its rating system in its second year of existence. Now it has become a benchmark. Initially, it was an online bookstore, and let's be honest, before buying a book, you would be happy to read reviews from those who have already purchased it. Next came the famous Bezos stars. The rating system has changed over the years. The corporation experimented with star colors, product display algorithms. As a result, Amazon is now a giant among giants, and the Death Star of e-commerce. And the main tool is reviews. According to various estimates, 80 to 90% of buyers carefully read at least 10 reviews before making a purchase. And the most interesting thing is that negative reviews attract more attention. For example, here's how an eye tracking looks when reading a positive and a negative comment. An interesting fact: women read reviews more carefully and pay more attention to negative ones. For them, negative reviews are most often a deal breaker. From the very beginning, Amazon faced the problem of fake reviews. Some people promoted their products, while others, on the contrary, discredited competitors' offerings. In 2007, the corporation launched the Vine program, which invited top reviewers on the platform to test and evaluate new and pre-release products.
I have been a part of that since 2010, and in this video I'm going to show you everything that Amazon sent to me for free in September.
In the mid-2010s, it became clear that many online sellers were so dependent on good reviews that they were willing to give away products for free just to get positive ratings. A 1-star increase in a product's rating could boost sales by 10%.
So I decided to hit up one of these pages and see how it all worked. And one of these pages said 100% back for your feedback. So I messaged them and I said, how do I get one for free?
This led to a surge in fake reviews. You've probably seen them. Tons of generic 5-star ratings with comments like, "Great product, it fits perfectly." Because sales depend so much on online ratings, sellers found it easier to manipulate ratings using click farms. Groups of people paid to leave fake reviews. Amazon is still trying to fight fake reviews by using both manual and automated systems to detect and remove them. These systems analyze things like user behavior, review language, and other factors to spot suspicious activity. They even use natural language processing, NLP, to analyze the tone and content of reviews. They track patterns of behavior, like how often an account leaves reviews, what products they rate, and how often they buy products, looking for unusual activity. Despite these efforts, fake reviews are still a huge problem. Amazon is flooded with them, and sometimes even fake products. Ideally, rating systems like the one used by Uber are supposed to prevent these kinds of issues, but scandals happen all the time. Remember when Uber first started and you had to rate your driver after each ride? Uber made ratings a central part of its service. Drivers are rated on a scale of 1 to 5 based on their last 500 rides. It seemed like a good system. Customers could get an idea of how professional, polite, and careful a driver was. But people are subjective. Sometimes a customer might give a bad rating because of something like disliking the driver's music, not having a good conversation, disagreeing on politics, sadly, even racism. Reviews are anonymous. Customers don't have to explain their ratings, and drivers rely heavily on their ratings. They can get fewer rides, only get rides that other drivers have rejected, and eventually be banned from the platform entirely if their ratings are too low. This leads to drivers being afraid to confront rude customers because they're scared of getting a low rating. Of course, drivers can also rate passengers. If everyone is polite and helpful, they get good ratings in return. It's like a game theory strategy. Rating systems basically make our behavior public. They judge how well we follow certain social norms. Think about credit scores in the US. They're another example of how we're judged based on our behavior. We haven't really stopped to think about how easily we've moved from rating products and services to rating people. This is a huge shift. Complete openness and transparency in life, living your life on display, is a powerful tool for controlling society. China has taken this idea of using ratings to influence people's lives further than most countries. While a low Uber rating or poor credit score might make your life harder, China's social credit system directly impacts your quality of life, freedom of movement, and even your children's future. The system, known in Chinese as Shihuixinyongtizi, literally social credit system, was developed from an idea similar to a bank credit rating. It began in the 1990s as a way to make financial history transparent. In 2014, the system expanded to include more than just financial data. How the system works. The government, local authorities, and companies evaluate people's social behavior and assign them a score from 0 to 1,000. This score is based on information from official sources like tax agencies, law enforcement, government offices, marriage registries, schools, and companies. The system also uses data from digital sources like search history, online purchases, and social media activity. Even cameras and facial recognition software are used to gather information. So, if you cross the street illegally, your score could drop before you even reach the sidewalk. However, if you volunteer, your score could go up. People with over 1,050 points have a AAA rating. Those with 1,000 points have an A+, while 900 points get you a B rating. A score below 849 puts you in C category, which could lead to you being fired from government jobs. People with scores below 599 are in category D, the lowest. The system can either be automated or manually assigned, depending on the province. However, it always puts you in either a red, good, or black, bad list. People on the blacklist can have their internet speeds slowed down, have trouble buying airplane tickets, and even face difficulty getting their children into good schools. You can improve your score by doing good deeds, or even performing heroic acts. China also has a strong system of public shaming. People who end up on the blacklist are publicly identified, and their names often appear in public spaces. For example, in 2019 in Lishui, Zhejiang province, a list of people who had lost their social credit was displayed before a showing of the film Avengers Endgame. To sum up, China's social credit system uses a combination of technology, data, and social pressure to encourage good behavior and discourage bad behavior. This episode of Black Mirror is over 5 years old. Back then, this fantasy seemed both scary and unlikely. Now, you cancel an order with a driver with a 4.2 rating. You don't go to a place with a 3.8 rating. You'll never book a hotel with a 5 out of 10. Does this mean that in a couple of years, you'll have to decide whether to let your children be friends with peers with low ratings? What if your future partner rejects you because of your low ratings?
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Even though we are free to give our opinions, there should still be limits to what we can say. Rate me, my friend!